In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your CV joint rebuild kit on your Ford Expedition. It's located under the vehicle on your front drive shaft. I like to mark my drive shaft right where the weld is for the weight, and then all the way through. Make sure you mark it on the yoke too. Going to mark it where the weld is on this side as well, and all the way through. Now we're going to use a 10mm socket, and we're going to remove our bolts. You might need this to keep it from spinning. Take those three out, and then we're going to spin the drive shaft. Make sure your vehicle's in neutral. All right, I'm going to leave those two in. And then we're going to go to the other end and take out those bolts. Now we're going to remove the other end using a 10mm socket as well. Remove this. You're going to be reusing this. You can keep turning the shaft until you can get the last two. Now we're going to turn back to the front and get the last two out of there. Make sure you have a good hand on the drive shaft before taking out the last bolt. Remove your bracket. Now you're going to pry this out. You're going to pick it up towards the top. And as you do so, you're going to use a pry bar and stick it up in here and help this side out in the back. Push it forward and up. And then push it to the back. And pull it out. Now we have this in a vise to hold it still while we take this spring clamp apart. Use a pair of needle nose, maybe a flathead screwdriver to separate this out. You're just going to expand it so you can open it up. Just twist that flathead screwdriver. And pop it off. You have a new one with the new part. Now we're going to use a chisel, cold chisel, and a hammer, and we're going to take off this cover. I'm going to going to work your way around. Till it pops off. Remove the entire bearing assembly. It may fall apart like that. You're going to want to use a slide hammer on this because you got to shock it to get it to come off instead of doing a slow and steady pull. Now we can remove the rest. Just pull it off. And now we're going to clean our area. To do that, you're going to use some rags and remove any debris, like if the C-clip broke or whatever. Make sure that's gone. I'm going to put a little grease here. We're going to slide the rubber side on first. I'm just going to push that all the way back. I'm going to move my drive shafts so the opening can be at the top. I'm going to put my C-clip on. You want the open side up once you get it on there. Just push it on, make sure the open side is up. Put your gasket on. That'll just hang for now. So you're going to use the supplied grease and you're going to fill the bearing and pack it. So I would just start by putting some in. And then you're going to drive it in there using your hand. Do the other side. So just move this bearing around a little bit and get the grease in there. You definitely don't want to push it all the way out, so be careful. You really want to pack it in there. Just line it up. Be careful when you push this on, you don't want it to fall apart. So make sure you have a piece of wood or something there and just give it a good whack. You want to get it past that ring. Okay. Keep tapping it on until it stops and it's almost flush. I'm going to clean my surface before I put the gasket on. Make sure it's no grease on it. Do the same on the other side. At this point, if you haven't already packed your bearing, you're going to want to do that. I recommend doing it before you install. And you're going to use a bolt to line up everything. Just turn this until you see it lining up. Let's start with the one on the bottom. And rest the gasket on the bolt. So once you got one lined up, I'll take another bolt and line up one on the top. Now that I have this one, I'm going to turn this one around and slip it through the back. Cover. I'm holding tension on this as I'm doing this. Otherwise it's going to spring forward because we don't have our spring clip on. Now I'm going to use a zip tie and I'm going to hold them together. You're going to need a pretty long one. And you're going to feed it through 2 bolt holes. Like this, to hold it together. And put one on the other side as well. Now you can cut these off, make it easier for install. And we could take our bolts out. So let's put our spring clip on. Gonna unravel it, feed it through. You might want to pull it with some wire cutters. You're going to wrap it around. Wrap around one more time, stick it in this loop, use a hammer to smash it down, lock it in place. And then you can peen over these 2 ears, and that'll hold it from unwinding. That'll lock it in place. And now we can install. Now we're going to put this up there. So you're going to go towards the back first and go way above it as far in as you can. And we're going to get it past the sway bar in the front. So now we're going to position it and line it up with our lines that we made. We're gonna have to pull down this side. And I see my line here and here. So I'm gonna turn this. Once you're lined up, you're gonna take it out again. Push it back as far as it'll go and go up. Another option is to take the sway bar down, but ours is really rusty. Once you get it up there, you're going to pull down your other side. And we're going to start lining up this end. So here's our line here. So we're going to line this up with the line that I put underneath. And then drop it into place. Now we're on the front. Our lines are all lined up with the weight. And I'm just going to start one of my bolts. Make sure you have your little washer thing there. Get the other one started. Once you have those 2 started, we're going to go back to the back and get a couple of bolts started in the back as well. Now that we're in position here, we're going to get one of our bolts started, and then we're going to cut those wire ties off. So make sure you have your washer on there, a little bracket. And find one that you can get to. And those wire ties are there to help you keep the whole thing together, so you don't have to go through too many things. Start one on the top 2, and then we're going to cut off those wire ties. Now I'm going to go in and cut off my wire ties. Pull that through and do the same on the top. Now you're going to hand start all the bolts. I'm using my socket and extension to do that since it's hard to get in there. Just make sure they're not cross-threaded. So once you get that snugged up a little bit, you're going to go to the opposite one and do the same on that. And then just go around the entire thing, going back and forth. Now we're on the other side in the front, and we're going to get all these started and then hand tightened before we torque all of them. So make sure you have your washer on the other side as well. I'm going directly across from that bolt. Now we're going to torque these to 41 foot-pounds. To do that, we're going to do it in a crisscross manner. Starting at the bottom where I can reach. You're going to want to hold that still with something. So you're going to torque it to 41 foot-pounds. Go to this one. Swap places. Now we'll go to the back. So I'm holding a screwdriver on the other end as I torque these bolts because they're a little harder to get to. As you torque these, you might have to go around and just snug them up because you're pushing the two plates together on the new assembly. You can spin your drive shaft as you go around too if it's easier. Probably a smart idea to go all the way around one more time in order, maybe marking one bolt, making sure you got every single bolt because it does spin as you go, so it's hard to keep track.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ, the only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.